G'day fellow travellers. I thought I might answer a few questions. People have asked me about our GMC Motorhome. What is it? What does it look like? What does it do? What it can't do? How old is it? So I'm going to answer a few questions. First, let's just step inside and I'll give you a good look at what the inside of the 1970s looked like. Now, we've only done a few minor upgrades, obviously converted to right-hand drive. As you can see, the sofas, this is actually a couch that pulls up into a bunk, and it actually clips up into the roof, and you have bed below, bed above, and of course the lovely dining table. This is original. It's 1970s. It actually flicks up. It's got your drink holders. Goes down. You get a double bed out of this. These chairs are very comfortable. There are seat belts here and here, all along here. And of course the front seats, which these are the original fully reupholstered, and pulling a lever gives you a little spin around, which is kind of handy too, getting in and out. These will rotate almost backwards, so you can sit there if you've got guests and you want extra seating. Little table's original. I've added a few more gauges, just things like you know, your RPM and oil pressure for the transmission, a few other little upgrades. There's the original. I'll explain this in future videos. That's your airbag electro level, which was a standard feature in these. Your handbrake is right down the bottom there. Actually fully adjustable, so with this little knob at the top, if your handbrake becomes a bit loose, not working, you give it a twist, it'll tension it up. Works pretty good. So we've added a little fold down TV. I've got two TVs in here. Some lovely night day blinds, which I made these myself, and the edges are to seal the light are just made out of PVC guttering and plumbing, just cut down. Shout out to Jim Bounds, the famous Jim Bounds of GMC Rehab Ranch. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, check him out. He'll give you all the tips and things. Another little feature from the 70s is this little thing down the bottom. Can you guess what that is? That is ducted vacuuming. And of course, what's the 70s without a built-in bar? It was the 70s. Now, we haven't painted any of these cabinets. These are all literally vinyl wrapped. I just bought book vinyl wrap, and I vinyl wrapped them because the brown kind of looked way too 70s for me. Not that I mind it, but it makes it look smaller. The original sink, I just put a new mixer tap, a little bit taller. Down the bottom here, we have a very high BTU ducted furnace, which is ducted right along the bottoms of the floor and even in the bathroom and bedroom. The original Magic Chef 4-burner and an oven, which I've baked wonderfully in. Works like a charm. You have to upgrade these. A few little future features, putting valves on it. Excuse the untidiness, I need to give that a clean. Still works great. All the original drawers, you know, when they slide in and lock by themselves. A little bit of storage. Fridge. Our original fridge was 50 years old. It was working. We defrosted it, but the electrical is at the bottom and the water went in and shorted it. So I bought this really nice Dometic. This is a, what they call a T-rated fridge, mean tropical as well. In Australia, we need tropical rated fridges if you're going to be in very warm areas. And it's pretty much a good size 200 litre fridge, and it fits into that slot almost perfect, except I had to put this surround around just to make it sit out the distance so it didn't hit at the back. And if I just peek out here and show you, there's the vents, and these vents I actually built a fan extraction system with temperature. I'll do a video in the future if people are interested in it, how to build your own little extraction fan system which will keep it all cool and running good. The original gauges right here, these are kind of cool. Not all of them work anymore, but obviously if I do push them on, we can see the volts still work and the holding tank does. But the water tank doesn't, because I've got a new water tank, and the LPG, I just use small bottles. I placed this one in. This one gives us a more accurate reading, and I've got a new tanks in there. There's an old antique. I guess you call that a nautical clock. It's lovely. And to step back a fraction. Now, just a note, I am 6'3" in the morning, and that is a Dometic fridge. A Dometic fridge. It's a Dometic, once again, air conditioner reverse cycle. And my head just touches that. My brother's 6'5½", and his head barely touches the roof. So there is more clearance than you imagine. Lots of cupboard storage. So in the drawers, if we have a look, and you have a look in that corner there, look at that. Quality built GMC. Burnt in. And you can see even on the edge there, they got a bit of a dovetail stuff. So they were 1978, so I think they got a bit better during the latter years of some of the manufacture. Storage all here. More drawers. Down here I've got my solar and electrical panel. I am going to put a light in here. My solar's back there and all my circuits. I also have a generator, which they came with stock. In the 78, down the bottom, you have your compressors for your airbags. On the older models, the 77, 78s, they had them here. The other early ones had them in the front. Front ones would leak because there's a lot of line. Wonderful cupboard. If anyone's interested, I 3D printed my own original style buttons that match the original GMC. Can't really see much in there, but it's a bit dark. Comes with all the original sort of hangers and stuff. A little bit of a trick for organising. Back of the door hanger makes your system a little bit better. One of the features I absolutely love, it sounds silly, GMC's bathroom. To me, this just represents a Boeing. And if you're wondering why, it does have a shower. The original recirculating toilet, put 10 litres in, put your sachet in, press the button, and on the front there's a little window. Tells you when it's full, pull the lever, drop it in the black tank, but you're using less water. And as long as you're not doing number twos, which I don't, it really does save a lot of water and it's quite efficient. Some nice little lights. I upgraded a lot of my lights to LED. And there's a roof fan, a curtain that goes around. Kind of like it. It just reminds me of Boeing aircraft because the original people who were enlisted to design them, believe it or not, was Boeing. So this is aircraft aluminium in compounded molded plastic. The lovely main bedroom, the boudoir, storage. Back cupboard that's an option. That's actually a gun locker. I don't own guns, we're Australia. And another one, another TV, some foot storage, and there is actually windows all the way around. I've closed because of the sun. There's some nice speakers. I actually upgraded the internal speakers. So you get a good sound system in here as well. And of course, I've got a electric and gas hot water service. Flick of a switch, I end up with hot water. The originals were actually connected directly to the actual radiator. So when you drove, you got your hot water that way. And they used to originally burn off the black tank via the exhaust using a special system called Sanitherm. Fortunately, those systems didn't last more than apparently a few years. Parts were irreplaceable. Quirky features, little lights and speakers and switches up there. I think they're great. I added a few fans and personalised them. And of course, the biggest question with the GMCs is, what do they like to drive? Well, the simple answer is, if you haven't driven one and you have the opportunity or go in one, you'll realise they do not feel like a motorhome. I've owned motorhomes. These feel like basically a Cadillac. They're as smooth as. There's an add-on option. It's called a Ragusa step. Ragusa manufacture a lot of items for GMC. They're located. Dual wheels. Excuse the webs. No matter how many times I wipe them off, they come back. There's the airbag. This is a replacement bag, also known as a big old bag. And I actually put some shut-off valves on it. So if I ever have a problem with my compressors, I can literally just take off this pressure sensor, which tells me on the dash, pump air in there, and I can pump it straight up, so I don't have to worry about that. Over in the back here, we have one of our compartments, one of two, which I recently upgraded. You'll see it in one of my other videos. I found the doors weren't very good when it came to holding them up because they had a rubber strap. So I installed these things. So I've got my big old slinky thing, which I don't really use. I'll show you why. 2 gas cylinders. There's a backup one. There's the main one. And not a great deal of storage under these, but enough because we lived in it for 2.5 years, which was great. And to move around, You probably get a shot at the back. I do have my Ring cameras mounted on there, has solar and all, which connects to the Wi-Fi, and it allows me to know who's creeping around, whether I'm out or whether I'm home. On the other side is my generator. They do come with a 6 kVA generator. This one's an updated one. It does the job, works fine. And I built these little ramps. If you're ever looking at building ramps, these are a great little idea to make, nice and solid. And of course, on the front, these little panels open up, and you don't see that much. You can see here your power steering. Your windscreen wipers are connected to your transmission and everything else. It's kind of a strange one, but it works great. Your water level. Air conditioner is working in this one, amazingly. Don't use it, I can't afford it. And there's your brake reservoir, some air horns, all that. You don't see much here. Here's your lovely oil dipstick, which you want to take that with a mate and then walk back about 10 feet before it even comes out of the receptacle. It's so long. A power kill switch, most important, of course, the big old battery that's in there. And the earlier models had a compressor just sitting down there. And a little add-on we do have is this lovely custom built, we call it a bull bar, rhubarb, and it just gives you a little bit of protection, because if you're not aware, all of this is compounded molded plastic, or as people like to say, fiberglass. It kind of is, kind of isn't, but we won't argue about that. And if you're wondering about the general structure, oh yeah, before we go any further, this glass, if you've never seen the glass on the GMC, it curves all the way around. It gives you a panoramic, kind of the view like an interstate bus, which is fabulous. We also have over here, part of our, this is part of our heating intake and outlet. There's these, the rear wheels, and then your generator there. You have a water filler section. Don't put petrol in there. And that's where your shore power and all your other storage all goes in there. And the only thing that's ever rusted on this, because it's very few things are metal, this little petrol cap, which I'm about to rebuild a new one. A lot of pitting, but that's it, because compounded molded plastic, and all down the back over there, that's aircraft aluminium. They are a fantastic vehicle. So in future videos, I'm going to talk a bit of the history about these, the upgrades you can do, like I've done with the LED lights, the halos. And there is just lots of personality and character to these that you don't see in motorhomes. But most importantly, the thing that's most amazing about these is really the drivability and the livability. And yes, they have a big block V8 front wheel, an Oldsmobile rocket engine. And when people hear front wheel drive, they go, oh, front wheel drive. Well, I tell you this, the second best thing on a hill next to a four-wheel drive is a front wheel drive. If you don't believe me, do a bit of research. So you'll find pulling up a hill is actually better than pushing up a hill. And this will sit on 105, 110 kilometers an hour. What's that, 60 odd miles an hour? Up hills. I took it on a trip, 3,000 miles for you guys in the US. And the only thing that went wrong was I forgot to put petrol in and I stalled. Silly me. But the good thing is they do actually have a reserve tank. So a flick of one of those switches there will get you straight into your reserve. But here's the trick. Don't fill it up, leave it on reserve and drive reserve empty and then put it on main and then realize when you flick it back, there's no reserve. Ceiling fans and lots more. So there you go, guys. There's about a 15-minute tour of GMC. If you like this video, do me a favor, click on it, subscribe, like, because I'm going to make more videos for you guys. If you want to ask me questions, if you're curious about things, on the next video, I'm going to do a history of GMC. And once again, a special shout out to my dear great friend, Jim Bounds of the GMC Motorhome Rehab. He's the dude if you need to ask questions, the guru. And once again, crew, thanks for joining. And also don't forget, stay tuned. I'm going to have a Hulk in some of these videos. If you haven't seen Hulk, that's my massive 2.4 kilo Chihuahua. And we're taking a trip in the next couple of weeks. So come with us and join us. Until then, crew, have a great day and we'll see you on the road. Bye for now.